following is reenactment of a true story that happened to me. P.S. The other person is a ghost.
Well, that feels like 100 years ago. That was 2021. It's only 2024. So, technically 3 years. And since it's been about a year since I did a Ghost Fam update, here you go. George the Ghost, still very gone, still very much in the underworld. Do not have to worry about him anymore. That's not to say that the courthouse is no longer haunted. Him leaving just meant that other ghosts could be more prominent. I say leaving like he wasn't forcefully removed. And the spirit that you might have heard a lot from the media recently, Rupert! What's Rupert the Ghost up to recently? Technically, he's not a ghost anymore. Spoiler, I know. He's worked through the things that kept him as a ghost for almost 300 years, and he's moved on from that. He's done a lot of work to join up with the fuller part of his soul, and he's a frequency that's more akin to a spirit guide now. Is he my spirit guide per se? No, I would definitely say he's more of a guardian figure. I have other guides, which I don't think I've talked about publicly, but I have shared on my Patreon. No, it's not just turn up. What does Rupert do nowadays most of the time? Working. Yeah, it doesn't exactly end after this life. But the good news is the work on the other side feels more like a calling and a passion and a rite of passage, whereas here it's kind of like to pay the bills and to actually live life. So it's different. So nobody worry about that too much. I still see him as often as I can, and sometimes I help him out with his work, and sometimes he helps me out with consultations. He was the one to make a direct request to not be the center focus of my channel anymore. So that's why I don't hear about him much anymore. That said, people did see him at the Sacred Spaces conference this past January, which, like, not really like I needed the validation, but it was really cool when people were like, oh my goodness, that's Rupert. We also heard it on the Phasma box as well, so pretty cool. And this is Molly. I know a lot of you have wanted updates on Molly, and rightfully so, because she is still a queen. She has queen behavior. She's just not at 24 South Coffee House much anymore. She too has done a lot of work to join up with the fuller part of her soul, and primarily she's doing guide frequency related work, and that's usually not on this continent. Her fuller self was on the Mediterranean coast. Is anybody surprised? Also, fun facts, found out that her fuller self and my fuller self, known as Turnip, my sassy spirit guide, are friends. Why was I surprised? When I found this out? I shouldn't have been nearly as surprised. So now if I'm to talk to Molly, it's kind of like a long distance phone call, and sometimes it's her and sometimes it's her fuller self. And just as a reminder, remember, ghosts are fragments of the soul. Oftentimes, if a ghost finds peace with where they're at, they will move on naturally. They will move on to a middle ground area to join up with their fuller souls if their fuller souls are ready to move on as well. I have videos on this elsewhere, especially on my Patreon, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to keep going back to the ghost get related, like, catch-up sorts of things. That said, if you go to 24 and you leave an offering for Molly, like buying her a tea or tipping the staff extra, she really likes that, she still receives the message. She just may not be there as much as she might have been before. And of course, we cannot forget the best ghost being Jimothy. And I don't have a depiction that I created for Fanny, but I'm just gonna kind of do a duo for them because Jimothy and Fanny are living together. The two of them are primarily on the spirit plane, and they have a little cabin, which is like super cute, and they are just kind of living afterlife stuff there. I see similar things for some past loved ones where they just have a happy place, and that's kind of like their heaven. Fanny is wanting to train up to be a spirit guide one day, which I think is just so lovely. She told me she wants to work with young children, and I think that's perfect. Jimothy, on the other hand, has gotten him a job working for Arnold. Yes, as in the Arnold who knows officially Catherine. If you want an update on Arnold, I will leave that for Catherine to do, but just know I do see him often, and I'm about to explain why. A lot of you keep asking about my ex, who I have not been posting about or anything for well over a year now. Y'all, please take a hint. Do a little bit of deduction work. Please, just a little bit, and you'll see on my page, there's nothing about him anymore. I did explain in a ghost skit, because it felt like I had to. We broke up due to long-standing issues that really had nothing to do with ghost. Had to do with very adulting sorts of things that we were not seeing eye to eye on. Dunzo. Relationship. Done. Please stop asking about that. What does that have to do with Arnold, you may be asking? What does that have to do with Catherine, you may be asking? So this happened. I haven't really been focusing on it a lot because it's our private relationship, but yeah, Officially, Catherine and I, we are together. It's been that way for a while now. And if you've been following for a while, you were not surprised by this announcement. All that to say, Arnold hangs out a lot, and so does Rupert. And we all get along really well, which is like super, super cool. I think it is safe to say that Rupert and Arnold are very, very close friends, and I love that for them. I guess you could say with Catherine and I having similar passions and pursuits and perceptions of spirits, Arnold and Rupert are kind of like each other's support team. So, I'm so happy they have each other. They are bros. I wanted to be sure to give an update on Mira, who is now in spirit. It's recently been 2 years since her passing, and I still miss her. That said, I am so excited to report that she primarily hangs out with Fanny and Jimothy. Jimothy, who did give her the nickname Pork Chop. But what is most important is that she is loved and cared for. And it's possible that she might reincarnate again. And should that happen, I can't wait to see her. Till then, I'm honoring her time in spirit. Then we have the Railroad Museum. This was the day that I became a part of the Wilmington Railroad Museum board. I've been a board member for almost a year now, which has been super cool. I super love being able to give back to a place that I am so passionate about and I care for so much. Danny and Felicity, who are the two kids that I've made some videos about here, they're kind of in an in-between state. They might just be not materializing right now, which for ghosts, that happens. As far as the other ghosts there, they're pretty much in and out. The vibes are pretty chill. When I go there, I get a lot of highs, lows, that kind of thing. I haven't been informed of any major issues as of late. And for anybody who does remember Driver, Driver is like kind of there, kind of not. Driver's hanging out with my friend Kid. I'm just out here matching ghosts with people. Life is so wild. P.S. Kid, Catherine, and I all have a paranormal investigation group together, and you can check out the long form content on the long form content place. Starts with a Y, if you know what I mean. And we still haven't figured out a name for ourselves. But don't you know it, whenever we're out on an investigation, we're trying to meet the folks that are inside of a building. Driver, Arnold, and Rupert are usually outside, just like looking at us like we're just wild, because all of them are like, yeah, they do this, and that's how they talk to us, but they do this. I'm so glad they have each other. And for a while now, it's been very much like one-shot skits on my Ghost Skits playlist. Why? Because all of these folks have been out and about and doing their own thing. I have some ghosts that I could do more and more skits on that I've met around here since I moved to a different house. I'm still in Wilmington, North Carolina. I've also met some different ghosts in client consultations, which have been super cool. For the most part, though, I'm focusing on travel. That's me on top of a cannon in Yorktown. And I'm focusing on meeting new ghosts in new places and having skits from different places. I think that's everybody. I think so. Yeah. Let me know what you think about these updates. And if you want me to travel to someplace, please let me know. That being said, if it's a specific place, please let me know if you have an in on that place, because if I don't know how to get in, if I don't know a contact or something like that, I can't do anything about it. And remember, if you have a haunted house, I don't necessarily have to be there in order to talk to the ghosts. All my consultations, one-on-one, are all virtual. A lot of my skits as of late have been based upon ghosts that I have met in client consultations. That said, the most important thing here is that if you're passionate about this and if you want to learn how to safely talk to spirits, whether they be ghosts, past loved ones, guides, deities, etc., consider checking out my Patreon. I have to say it's so weird now because they will be upset. The clock app gods or whatever, they will be upset. Anyway, so if you want to learn how to do that on your own in a safe, protected, grounded, controlled way, I have so many resources that I would love for you to check out, because I truly believe we all have intuition and we all can grow these skill sets. It just takes passion and interest. I'm Rebecca the Ghost Guide. Thanks for watching.